Hello everyone. On behalf of this year's Congressional Environmental Summit, or CES, it is my pleasure to welcome you all. Let me inform you that this is only the second time I've done this, so please bear with me. Understanding that this is a time for business and diplomacy, and even the company I am surrounded by tells me all to get straight to the point. As you all know, there has been an increasing growth in the percent of pollution being emitted in the atmosphere. This can be arguably debated, but the fact of the matter is that temperature increases have arisen in certain areas throughout the world due to what we like to call global warming. There are a few questions people should ask themselves. What is global warming? Is it real? And if so, can it harm us? And please understand that when I say us, that I am referring to the planet as a whole. I will give you reasons on why it is rational to believe in global warming. And with this, a better understanding of the problem can maybe cause the superpowers of the world to finally act on what is detrimental to everyone's health. I would like to begin with noting a few facts. So I will beg you to please pay attention, for there will be times when you may get lost, but I will try to keep it short because I know there are other speakers you'd like to hear from after this brilliant speech. Now seriously, when you think of global warming, what comes to mind? I would guess for most people, they would think it has something to do with the atmosphere. Some might even say it is a theory that says our atmosphere, being the thing that protects us, is being deteriorated because of harmful fossil fuels that we emit to the ozone every day through methane gases and constant burning of carbon dioxide. It is that very idea that I am trying to prove to people, and for that I will have to show you why it is rational. And know that when I say rational, I am referring to the very concept of making a choice based on the idea that it is most reasonable, logical, and commonsensible of all choices, that it does exist, and we need to act accordingly. In this case, the task is simple, because you only have two options, with the first one being believing global warming, which we'll call global warming GBW for tonight, and the second, not believing in GBW. For this evening, we'll call them P1 and P2, meaning probability, with them being assigned in the same order as I've just stated. I hope I haven't confused anyone with the acronyms, but it's just my way of shortening things up a little. Now with these two choices, there are values that each lay out specifically, with both having what I like to call positive and negative effects on one another. I shall begin with believing GBW, for it is the first choice. The values are V1 and V2. V1 states that you believe in GBW, and with this knowledge, you have dedicated your life to trying to live a green life, quote unquote. And if GBW exists, you have helped save the world from a global catastrophe. Value 1. Now to value 2. V2 states that you believe in GBW, and you also live a green life. But the difference is GBW does not exist. The result is consistent in the matter that you have only tried to live out your life to a goal that couldn't harm you. So now you have your P1 and its two values, V1 and V2. The next step is to analyze P2 and their values, V3 and V4. They actually are pretty much the same as the first two, V1 and V2. But the difference being they do not believe in GBW. Okay, V3 states that you do not believe in GBW, and as stated before, so for this value, you simply have continued to live life throughout your worldly desires. If it does exist, you have just followed yourself into a place of no return. Last, if we consider V4, it should be easily noticeable. If you do not believe in GBW, and the result is it does exist, you have been spared, and if it does not exist, you have been spared for your life, for you have lived your life in all your pleasures. Now that I have laid out the variables, I will explain the formula in short. It is P minus 1 greater than V4 minus V3 divided by V2 over V1, with believing in GBW being the left side of the equation and not believing being the right. It is simple in the fact that whichever side is greater, that should be the rational choice. And when you look at the values of each, it can be seen that there is greater probability in believing in GBW. For the values themselves show the consequences of the situation's aftermath or in the results. I believe that if people are to truly change the way they see this problem, we must show them how real this is, and maybe I won't give this speech 10 years from now. I probably went way past the required speech time, so I will just end it here. And with this, it has been my pleasure Thank you for having me, and until next time.